Get off the emergency frequency!
Alright. I'm just checking my mic's not mute because sometimes I do these videos and I forget to unmute my mic, so I'm just checking, okay? Okay, so I'm going to do a new video on the archon hunting and nether cells because a bit has changed with my build and I don't know if I need to do anything in those, so yeah. Alrighty, so we'll start off with the Revenant. The Revenant build, this is what I run, just Exoda. We won't be using this ability. This ability we won't be using. So there we go. Exoda Whisper. That reminds me also, since we're talking about Exoda Whisper and Incarnants, you know the old bug with Exoda Whisper and these Incarnant evolutions? Yeah, DE patched that. So rather than the map being squared, it is just doubled. Because it used to proc the damage buff more times than it should proc on these things. That is no longer the case. I would go over to the hotfix section and read that, but I don't think my video will pick it up. Actually, let's experiment. Fuck it, this video will be a great way to experiment if it can pick up the hotfix thing. Without any editing software or anything, I want to see if it can pick up the hotfix stuff, or if my game won't pick that shit up. So let's see it quickly. There it is. Fix the damage increase from Exoda's Whisper, unintentionally applying twice to on the Vent More and Laden's Devouring Attraction perk, and the Felarx's Devastating Attraction perk. There you go. So, yeah, that is now patched. I have no fucking clue if that picked up in the video. If it didn't, well, fuck. If it did, cool. But yeah, so, while it doesn't apply twice, it is still really good for this. So yeah, Archon shards don't matter, you can run whatever the hell you want. I just enjoy these. The health regen one is just for shits and fucking giggles. So I run on my Rev. You're probably like, why Retribution on Rev? This one actually procs surprisingly, even with Mesmer Skin active. Rare, but it can proc. Why Adaptation? Well, because with my Rev, I'm AFK a lot because I tend to message players all the fucking time. So rather than having my Mesmer Skin go down and then I have no extra source of tank, I have Adaptation there just for that. Makes life easier. And also not a huge fan of Rolling Guard, except in a few scenarios. Another thing with Adaptation is it doesn't do much for Mesmer Skin, but it does actually reduce it does increase how much damage a Mesmer Skin charge can take, so rather than it just taking 1 bullet and it's gone, it can sometimes take 1 bullet and it's gone, or take 2 bullets and then the charge is gone, so saves you a bit of a charge there too. Alright, let's get to the Felrix build. I had 2 Felrixes. One is specifically for Archons. This is back when you could one-hit the Archon. Due to Archons not being able to one-hit anymore, I recycled it as an anti-Deacon weapon. And with the Exotic changes, you can no longer one-hit Deacons with the Felrix, but that's okay. We don't need to one-hit Deacons. So here you go. Here's the Evos, and for proof I have 2 Felrixes, just in case you think I'm joking. There you go. Why does this one have more Pharma than this? Well, this is specifically so if it shows up in Duvary, it will prioritize my actual Felrix over my Archon Felrix. So I always get the proper one in rotation and not the other one. Latum, here's the build on the Latum. Here's the evolutions. And here's the Archon build. Why Secondary Shiver? Secondary Shiver applies to the Archon itself, and also Archons are vulnerable to radiation and cold. So we get that right there. I won't be killing enemies with the Latum at all, so it will just be pre-charged for the Archon, so that's why I went with the regular multi-shot. Stropha, well, you've seen my Stropha build countless times in videos at this fucking point, so here you go again. Why the Stropha? It's just great for killing hordes of enemies when I don't feel like switching to the incarnate form of Felrix and shit, and also it's great for killing the airless when they spawn, well, destroying their cans instantly in one heavy attack. It's also pretty good at killing Deacons, so there's bonus there. And Zenuric is just free energy, even though if you don't care about that, you can just pop energy pads mid-mission. Go with Madurai, because then when Boreal does his fucking scream, you can just destroy his shields fast with Madurai. Well, it's not really mandatory, just decent amp is enough. Parazon. Doesn't matter, I just like auto breach runtime and untraceable because it's great for many missions, including Nether Cells. We'll get to a video on Nether Cells. Here's my build for my worm. My worm is just here to give me buffs. That's all it is. You don't need to run worm, you can run whatever the hell you want. Worm again, just exists just to give me buffs. That's his purpose. Nothing else. Okay, let's get in there. And do the Nether Cell. Not the Nether Cell, the Archon. Reminds me, weekly reset today with the Archon, which also brings me to another topic. Due to the changes with Call Shop, you no longer need to do Call to get yourself the Shard every week. You just need to be max ranked with the Cavia and have 30,000 standing, and then just go to the shiny wares at Bird Free and buy it. It will be a random shard like usual. Meaning Call's only purpose is for another Stynax. Call's shit. His signature weapons. And the Archon mods. And the Archon mods can sell for some pretty nice platinum when maxed out. Especially Archon Stretch and Archon Vitality, so keep that in mind.
But he is no
if you
leader.
want some plat, you can just grind out the Call missions.
Take the Archon down.
I was gonna say, he killed himself with his Archon. quick recharge and relate them. Because you don't actually need to aim in a specific spot, you can aim wherever the hell you like. Though the shard is the weak point on the archon.
Boreal is here. Strike fast, use cover, and do not let him heal.
There. So you do a scream like this. You do it when it does scream like that. I do have plans to do a tutorial soon on the 60 eyes boss, also known as the fragmented one. I also have plans to do an updated video on the 30 eyes boss, because I have a new build for that.
Should allow you to deceive the barrier.
So, yeah, stay tuned for that. That reminds me, also, we are reworking enemy resistances, and are also reworking cold procs. While I'm here, I might as well mention, you know that mod that you get from the Whispers in the Wall map called Shivering Contagion, but it's a primary mod, where proccing cold status on enemies has a 30% chance to spread that to everything within 9 meters? Well, you don't actually need to equip down your primary weapon. You can equip down your sentinel, and it will still trigger even if your sentinel is not modded for cold, but if your weapon is. And in the next update, cold procs will now fully freeze enemies in place, similar to Frost 4. But here's something that not many people know. Enemies that are fully frozen take more damage from impact and blast damage. So there's going to be a lot of frames and a lot of weapons are getting buffed. This also means that Sea-Doo is getting a massive buff, especially with that mod on top of, well, cold procs. I'm well aware of that, since I paused the game there to answer that. My game stopped moving, but that's also because I'm solo. But I want my setup to be ready regardless if I'm solo or I'm in public helping someone, so I made sure it covers all scenarios that I can think of.
On Tau, the owl was solitary. He seemed to think himself above us and recognized the ram alone as an equal. To be mutilated like this, turned into a weapon, was humiliating for him.
just gonna scream like a dickhead. Gonna try and push us back. Operator. I hate when Boreal spawns up here. It's the most awkward spot to fight him.
Boreal is down. Narmer's eyes have been torn out. Excellent work.
There we go. And that's my updated Archon build. I'll give you some tips also as I'm running extraction on how to fight the other ones. Do not look at Naira when she's screaming. She will freeze you in place and turn you to stone. And she also goes invisible. Amar, he will clone himself. If he does duplicate himself, look for the one holding blades to find the real one. You'll know which one's the real one because it will be armed. It will be holding the Fury. There you go. Now you know how to deal with the Archons.